Alright, Shalom. First, I'd like to say all praise to Yahweh Shema Shai, double honor to the elders and apostles that rule well, and the brothers out there doing the truth with sincerity. I'd like to start off with the scripture first. This is Psalms 85, verse 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. Now, the point is, truth shall spring out of the earth. It says, U.S. war on Daesh, a complete hoax. And basically that's exactly what it is, man. The Lord bringing the truth out. Everybody don't know that these so-called terrorist groups is basically being set up by America and other nations to bring in a new world order for the elites, and that's what this newsletter is going to show. Came out April 10th, which is today, 2016. It's a U.S. Defense Secretary Ashton Carter, Sierra arrives at the background. Okay, no. It says Daesh and many of its splinter terror groups have been trained and armed by the United States as imperial foot soldiers deployed to serve Washington and its allies, says an American author and radio host. It says the war on terror is a complete hoax. Right, for everybody that's believing in terrorists, the terrorist is really your government. It says ISIL is the U.S. ally, not enemy. Right, they working hand in hand. Stephen Ledman said in an interview Sunday, and hold on, before I go any further, bring up this next scripture. Psalms chapter 64, verse 8, so that it says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And as I continue to read the document, you're gonna find out that all other nations are actually fleeing away from America. But that's basically what's happening. They telling on themselves because we at the end of the society. We're at the end of all these societies, man. Yahweh Shai on his way back to take down these nations and set up Israel, his elect, and bring about the kingdom of heaven. It says ISIL is the U.S. ally, not enemy. Stephen Ledman said in an interview Sunday, America created it, created the other terrorist groups, right, like Al Qaeda, the names that most people know that are offshoots. These groups are U.S. allies used as imperial foot soldiers wherever America wants to deploy them, Letman said. They're funded, they're armed, they're trained, and they have been erected by America, by CIA operatives or agent provocateurs, by Pentagon contractors, by U.S. allies, Jordan, Israel, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar, he continued. Right, so America sets up terrorist groups and gives them names and switches the names throughout time, man, and puts them in certain areas so they can take down nations to bring about the New World Order. That's really the agenda, man. It says Letman made the comments in response to an interview by President Barack Obama in which he describes the defeat of Daesh as his number one priority.
I have said and written so many times that people should pay no attention to what politicians say. They should watch only what they do. How many times I can't imagine that I could even possibly count how often Obama or George Bush claimed they were waging war on terrorism, and Obama now, of course, saying he's waging war on Daesh or ISIS or the Islamic State or ISIL, whatever name you might want to use. Well, the war on terrorism is a complete hoax. ISIS is a U.S. ally, not enemy. America created it, created the other terrorist groups, the names that most people know, and their offshoots. There are so many splinter groups. I don't know if anybody knows all the names. I think literally hundreds of them. But America basically...
ISIS, ISIL, Al Qaeda, and like you said, there's like hundreds of groups that America set up in these other nations, man.
created the roots, and then the splinters came from the root organizations. These groups are U.S. allies used as imperial foot soldiers wherever America wants to deploy them. Began in Afghanistan in the 1980s with the Mujahideen fighters fighting Soviet Russia. Today they're the Taliban fighting America. And the occupation forces, including the U.S. installed Afghan occupation forces. And of course, it continued with the Gulf War against Iraq and the post 9/11 wars, and it goes on and on and on. And these are U.S. imperial foot soldiers that are sent to various locations. They're in numerous locations now. I think they're in places that maybe only the powers that be know. Probably Russia knows a great deal, because this is a great concern to Russia that these forces will infiltrate Central Asia, which they already have. And just in the last day or two, Russia foiled what they called an ISIS terrorist plot in one of the Russian cities. I forget which one it was. It was not Moscow. It was another city. But again, these are U.S. forces serving U.S. interests. They're funded, they're armed, they're trained, and they're directed by America, by CIA operatives, by Pentagon contractors, by U.S. allies, Jordan, Syria, Israel, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Qatar. This is what's going on. Whenever Obama says he's fighting Daesh, believe exactly the opposite. He's defending them and arming them right at this moment as I'm speaking.
Right, man. So ain't no such thing as no terrorist groups, man. It's basically your president funding armies to take down nations to bring in this new world order for the elites, man. That's basically what the agenda is. Why? Because that's prophecy. That's in the scriptures, man. This is Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 20. Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord. They are taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. That's talking about Israel, man, because Israel is playing a part in this Third World War and this New World Order also. Israel was the key player in bringing about the Third World War when it started doing airstrikes on Libya, Syria, Lebanon, and a couple of them other Arab nations, man. Then, right along with the terrorist groups, America started to kick in. It says, surely he shall make their inhabitants desolate with them. All right, this is Job chapter 20. Let me start at verse 18. That which he labored for shall he restore. Right, all the substance that the elites labor for, they're going to get restored right back unto who? Israel, the chosen people, the 12 tribes, man, the black skies Native Americans. And shall not swallow it down. They're talking about their new world order, because these terrorist groups were set up to help bring in the new world order. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. Right, so they're not going to be able to fully get the whole grasp of the new world order, man, because he have oppressed and have forsaken the poor, which were the 12 tribes of Israel. They got us in the slums, the ghettos. They got us dependent on the government. Because he had violently taken away in the house which he buildeth not. And Israel took away our land, man. Surely he shall not, or the fake Jews took away our land, Slakia. Edom. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. Right, because all these terrorist groups that they set up, and these nations waking up to the fact that they're using them to bring down their countries and destabilize what they got going on in their nations, these nations going to rise up. It says, there shall none of his meat be left, therefore shall no man look for his goods. Right, so the nation's going to turn against America, man, and that's already happening. They already start pushing out the American dollar and start forming their own allies and own groups like the SOC, and it's other groups out there that they have, the Arabs clicking up with Russia and so on and so forth. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Right. So, and right when he goes to bring in this new world order, the Lord gonna give his men power. The wicked is talking about the oppressed, the Israelites, man. The Lord gonna give his elect power to fuck this white man up in that day. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Right. So the Lord gonna hit America right along with Israel and a lot of these other nations with the thermonuclear fire, the thermonuclear missiles, man, when he return. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. Right, so the Lord is the real terrorist, the real king of terrorists, man. But all praise to Yahweh Shema Shai, give honors to the elders and apostles, and shalom to the brothers out there doing the truth and sincerity.